Apollo Hospitals with regards to its March quarter numbers, with a 25% growth in its bottom line. What have been the key factors that play behind the healthy numbers? Let's ask the management. Joining us now on the phone line is Chief Financial Officer A Krishnan, as well as Yash Upadhyay from our research team to take us through this interaction. Yash, over to you.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking the time out and speaking with us. So first of all, if you could give us some more color as to how the various clusters have performed in the quarter gone by, and if you can share which are the new hospitals that have been commissioned and consolidated in your Q4 results.
Q4 results doesn't have any new hospital. So per se, Q4 results have been a like-for-like organic comparison from your perspective. So clearly, it's done well with a 15% revenue growth that you have seen over last year to 1863 crores in this quarter. And the EBITDA has actually grown by almost around 26% to 213 crores. And PAT also has been a 24% growth versus last year, same quarter. So clearly, the quarter has been good. The overall, growth has been 10% for healthcare services or hospitals, and 20% for standalone pharmacies. That's the mix of the growth that we have for the 15% that I spoke. And even within the 10% healthcare services, the mature hospitals grew by almost around 7%. And the new hospitals as a cluster, we have almost around, 13 new hospitals that we have added over the last, 3 years. And all of that, we have a 2,000 plus crores of capital employed in these new hospitals. So these hospitals grew by almost around 24%. So, so within the clusters, I think we have seen good progress in places like Bombay, Bangalore, etc. Even in a place like Chennai, I think we did see acceleration in the momentum in this quarter.
And so how has been the performance for Hetero Pharma and Nova hospitals?
Hetero has also done well. For the Hetero is part of the overall standalone pharmacies which is there, and Hetero EBITDA margins has gotten to 2% now. So that's been good. So on the other side, which is Nova, which is part of Apollo Health and Lifestyle, that is part of our consolidated results, and that is something that we have said. That is something that will take some time, if you ask me, because, we have said that, this is an investment for the medium term. It's not an investment for the short term. So clearly there is it will take at least FY20 to break even is what we have said.
And so what has been the occupancy levels, and have you taken any price hikes at any of the hospitals?
So, the current occupancy levels across the cluster is 65%, and we have over 300 new beds that we got occupied this year, 250 rather, new beds that were occupied in this year. And if you look at, we have not taken any price hike in this quarter.
So what is the Capex pipeline looking like for the company, and what can we expect, and when can we expect the majority of the Capex to be over, and what will be the modes of funding it?
So I think our balanced Capex now, if you look at our overall Capex now, I think we have almost on most of our Capex, we have said that, we have added so much of Capex, and we are now looking at actually, because, if you look at the total capital employed at 2,000 crores, there is clearly an ability for us to add 200 to 300 crores of EBITDA and over 1,000 crores of top line in all these hospitals over the next couple of years, 2 to 3 years, which is what we are focusing on. So we have actually added this, this phase of Capex actually has come to a conclusion for us. We have one last hospital which is coming up and in Proton, and we have South Bombay, which is going to be only 3 years away from now. So clearly the Capex is not over 500 crores that we have as we speak.
So with newer beds coming up outside of the main metro cities, do you believe this could put pressure on your margins as the pricing power won't be very strong?
No, I don't think we have a worry around that at all. We are quite, we have a very differentiated offering, and we are continuing to focus on select specialties like cardiology, oncology, neurosciences, etc. The demand for quality healthcare is intact. India needs a lot of beds over the next several years to take care of its health needs. We don't think there's going to be any pricing pressure from that perspective.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Krishnan, for taking the time out.